Hi, my name is Ghoulie, and I'm here to talk to you about the Frog Detective Trilogy. With The Haunted Island original release on November 22nd, 2018, The Case of the Invisible Wizard on December 9th, 2019, and Corruption at Cowboy County on October 26, 2022, these games were developed by the duo Grace Bruxner and Thomas Boker. All three games are available on PC. You play as Frog Detective, the second best detective in the biz. Each game begins with your boss calling you and giving you a new case. Hijinks ensue and don't stop until the mystery is solved. Each sequel is funnier than the last, so prepare yourself to laugh throughout your time playing. If this is the first review of mine you are watching, no, my reviews tend to be more positive as I review only games I've enjoyed, regardless of any criticism I do have. And unless it's a farming sim, I have played the game to its completion. If you ever want to see me play games in real time, I stream over on Twitch 5 days a week. So, let's jump in, starting off with the story. Each game in the trilogy starts the same. Supervisor calls, gives Frog Detective a case because Lobster Cop, the best detective in the world, is too busy, and Frog Detective heads to his destination. The story of each installment is pretty straightforward and simple. Frog Detective interviews the locals, fulfills their request, and solves the mystery. Each mystery has a bit of a twist to it. In the Haunted Island, Frog Detective arrives on, well, a haunted island. He meets with ghost scientists who have been hired by the island's king, Martin, to figure out the source of the ghost. In the case of the Invisible Wizard, Frog Detective is sent to Warlock Woods. A newcomer has moved into town, and the other residents decide to throw a welcoming parade for their new neighbor. However, someone destroyed the venue, and Frog Detective needs to find out who done it. Also, the new neighbor is an invisible wizard, apparently. In Corruption at Cowboy County, the people of Cowboy County have had all their hats stolen. Because of the severity of the crime, Frog Detective must work with the #1 detective Lobster Cop and the town sheriff to find the culprit. While each game's story is pretty simple, they're all pretty funny. The shortness of each game helps the comedic pacing not overstay its welcome. These games are silly and honestly it's great. Now, onto the characters. The characters of Frog Detective are quirky and colorful. Every conversation feels like my last 2 brain cells failing to connect. It's amazing. Because of the wide variety of characters, I'll just list my favorite from each game. In the Haunted Island, an item the detective needs is wool. Luckily for him, one of the ghost scientists is a sheep. We find Noodle shedding her wool. When the detective asks if he can have the wool, Noodle is disgusted that we would even want her hair, and is further gross learning that the detective's jumper is made of wool. It's just a cute, fun interaction going to the possible implications of using animal products when the people are animals. In the case of the Invisible Wizard, Mary the Rhino has important information that will help the detective solve the mystery. But she extorts the detective 5 money in exchange for the info. So, while the detective is helping the other citizens of Warlock Woods, he collects the money he needs to buy her info. The extortion is a little silly, especially at the end when the detective comments that crime isn't real, and his boss retorts, "Weren't you just extorted?" In Corruption at Cowboy County, Sherman the Sloth is an outlaw, and he has the hots for the detective. Right from the get-go, Sherman makes his intentions known, and it seems the detective returns those feelings. It's a cute exchange that made me giggle when I played it. Frog Detective X Sherman is my OTP 5 ever. Those were the characters. Let's talk about Frog Detective's graphics. The art design of Frog Detective is, well, kinda ugly, but in a cute and charming way, like a pug or a Sphinx cat. Despite its simple art style and designs, you can tell a lot of love and care still went into it. Each design is unique, and what little in-game animation there is very intentional and great. Also, every game ends with a dance sequence, like I'm watching a bunch of me's dancing. And the graphics improve with each game. More dynamic shading and shadows are added, larger environments with more to explore. You can tell the devs learned new things with each game, and it's really fun to see. One of my favorite visual choices they made is the opening sequences. The detective heading towards his destination, a vintage movie playing with flashes of the various characters and the rest of them. It's a funny, stylistic choice, and I'm all here for it. Those were the graphics. And now, The audio design. Fraud Detective's audio design is fine. There are about 3 songs per game, the intro, the gameplay's duration, and the in-game dance party. While the gameplay's music only has the 1 track, the games are short enough that the music on loop doesn't overstay its welcome. My favorite is probably the Western theme in the 3rd game. It's very cheesy, old Western movie-esque, and I love it. If you've seen any of my other reviews, you know that I'm a sucker for good Foley effects. Unfortunately, there are not many sound effects in Fraud Detective. When the journal is introduced in Fraud Detective 2, scribbling can be heard when the detective is writing in it, but otherwise there's very little, almost no other sound effects. This is a bummer to me personally, but it didn't take away from my overall enjoyment of the series. Now, let's talk about the gameplay. The game mechanics for Fraud Detective are pretty straightforward. Interview every person, find out what they need, and fulfill their request. Some people need a specific item, others just need some advice or words of encouragement. After helping them out, you'll be rewarded with an item, either something you need or something someone else needs. The list of requests is like a line of dominoes. In all 3 games, once you start getting items, everything starts to fall in place. You get this thing, you go give it to this person, and they give you a thing for someone else, etc. It's basically a series of fetch quests, but because of the game's shortness, the fetch quests don't feel tedious or annoying. Starting from the 2nd game, a journal is added. In this journal, the detective writes down the people he interviews, their motives, their needs, and random notes. I found the journal to be unnecessary as these games are short enough to retain who needs what, but it's still cute. I was a little disappointed by the use of the magnifying glass, or the lack thereof. You can look through the magnifying glass anytime you want, but you never need it. No part of the game requires it, so it's just an aesthetic piece. And lastly, the achievements. The achievements are not too hard to get. Each game has 6 achievements, and half of them you can get from natural progression of the games. The others require very little work, like trying to leave the island before solving the mystery, or trying to half-pipe scooter your way into the graveyard. The games do have a scene/chapter select screen to make achievement hunting easier. Now, my final thoughts. The Fraud Detective trilogy is a hilarious set of adventures. The characters and their shared single brain cell conversations are fantastic. The graphics are simple but fitting. The audio design was a mixed bag with good music but very little sound effects, and the gameplay, while a series of fetch quests, doesn't feel tedious or repetitive. As of this recording, each installment of the trilogy is $4.99, so all 3 together is $15. The game's length range from 1 to 2 hours each, so you're going to get about 5 hours of gameplay. I highly recommend getting the trilogy bundle when you can. But that's all from me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as a way of helping out my channel. I hope you have a good day, good night, good morning, whatever time it is there. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!